So we're live on.
Before we give these motherfuckers content,
We're live on YouTube. Trying to get live on Instagram. I know OBS is popping.
shit, I gotta watch that podcast.
All right.
Dropped a new episode.
Podbean is popping. Alrighty. I'm about to start. What's up? Oh. Did I turn up that stove? Underneath the fire? And did you see the fried plantains? Did you eat already? Did you see the fried plantains? Okay. Okay. Alright. Alrighty, that started. We gotta get Mixalog popping soon. But before we get Mixalog popping, let's get this motherfucking going. Let's get this title in this bitch. Alrighty. So, I wanna continue now. Please, because I'm still pushing on a live source that can be. Yeah, cause YouTube sent me a bunch of YouTube. No, it was Instagram sent me a bunch of shit blocking shit the other day. But nah, B. So as much as we give credit to Tom Thibodeau, right, and holding people accountable.
I thought you was gonna wait for the pod.
Oh.
I thought that's why you had stopped originally.
That is the reason why I had stopped. So that means that if I'm talking, that means we're pre-potting.
Oh, we just not live. We just ain't start.
We ain't start, yeah. Alright, because I couldn't let this shit go to waste. Because I didn't know I was going to remember on the air. But B, everybody talks about Tom Thibodeau, and you can't get minutes with Tom Thibodeau. And Tom Thibodeau got these guys playing hard, got these guys playing defense. Tom Thibodeau got this, Tom Thibodeau that. And I'm granted, Tom Thibodeau's doing a lot of shit. But why ain't people forgetting about Mike Woodson as the defensive coach for the team? Yo, we're completely forgetting. Tom Thibodeau's actually coaching. Mike Woodson is over there running that D. Remember, he wants a second chance because he felt like he didn't get a fair shot the first time.
He said one more chance.
Yo, that's Mike Woodson out there. Yo, man.
Jimmy, give me one more chance.
We didn't even start yet. I hope you guys are ready. Here we go.
As Metro's Mercury grade approaches, I shall create the illest podcaster known to mankind. Papa, what are you going to do? Howard Stern, Stephen A. Smith, Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle. Why Dave Chappelle? Cause he's a funny motherfucker. Jay-Z. Jay-Z? Because he has money. You fucking dickhead. Oh, I'm sorry, Master. I'm very sorry. The heart of India. The strength of a black man. And the pride of a Spaniard. I present to you MyT. It's alive. He's walking, Master. He's walking. MyT Sports.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. Oh shit, did I not? There we go. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Talent Mine Taylor. This is my co-host, the Quiet Storm KJ. Yo, it is another in Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. And I ain't talking about the Big Apple. I'm talking about down here in South Florida. It is March 1st. Yes, Black History Month is officially over, but we're black all the time.
All the damn time. Black history, yeah.
And not only are we black all the time, I'm black on both sides.
Factory.
Shout out to my boy Mos Def, Brooklyn. All right, so
Yeah, dog. Best side.
it is March 1st, 2021. It is officially season 6, episode 90, excerpt 283 of the MyT Sports Podcast. They told us we was going to have highs of 87 today, lows of 73, partly cloudy with 50% chance of rain. Basically, if you're living in the South Florida, like that means spring is technically right around the corner. I need to go hit up like Old Navy real quick and go get some cheap summer shit before it's too late. It may already be too late, but listen, we got a ton of shit to talk about today. You know what I mean? We got the Knicks over 500. Oh yeah, I said that right. We say it again. We got the Knicks over 500.
And again.
We got the Knicks over 500.
Oh, the mercy.
We got the Knicks over 500.
Like a drop.
Yo, we got Canelo. Getting the quitter.
Oh,
right?
baby.
Vacate got sat down, unfortunately. Tiger Wood was honored. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm going to have to do it to you. And you know what?
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt today, ladies. It's going to hurt. You know we love you, but it's going to hurt today.
And we got some breaking news. Right before we jumped on the air.
What?
But
Breaking news? Oh, shit.
you know what we say? Regardless of the time.
Take that.
And that.
And regardless of the weather.
You play to win the game. Hello?
It's always a good time to talk some sports. So let's start talking. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. Okay, what's up, B?
Stay hydrated.
I see that.
Mind my business. At least a gallon a day.
Yo, at least, listen. It's part of keeping things moisturized. Like in an odd way, it's like how you moisturize like your levers and other shit. That I see Mark in the chat room. Mark, you call up whenever you're ready. You're supposed to be off on Mondays.
I'm saying.
So you're supposed to be here. You actually supposed to be here with a Coors Light in your hand, celebrating this wonderful Knicks win and taking your Brooklyn L like a man. But we're not gonna talk about that quite yet. What we are gonna talk about is the breaking news that actually popped up right before we came into the air. So JJ Watt has picked a destination, and I laugh, right, because we already know the destination, and because it's JJ Watt, it comes out as breaking news. But ain't nothing exciting about where he's going to Arizona. The JJ Watt that said, I want to go to a winner. I don't want to go to any place with no bad culture, trying to win. Oh, that wasn't him, but you know what I mean. Basically, the same exact words, just remix. I don't want to go to any bad culture. I want to go to a team that's trying to win now. That's a team that's about winning. Some place with a good culture.
So go to Buffalo. So go to Green Bay.
So all of these teams, Buffalo, Green Bay, maybe even Seattle. You know,
New
like
Orleans,
Tampa. Thank you for saying that for me.
Trust me, I didn't want to have to say it, but I can't deny it.
You know, so with so many of them available, it caught a lot of people off guard that JJ Watt decided to go
to Arizona.
Because Arizona seems like a very young team. We understand that they've been flirting with the playoffs, but that's really mostly what they've been doing is
they got questions about their coach.
Yeah, it's them flirting with the playoffs. They have a young stud at quarterback. They have a young wide
baseball.
They have a young wide receiver that JJ Watt used to play for or play with. So we're gonna end up seeing how much money he gets. Let's just put it this way.
Oh, I already know.
Let's just see how much money he gets because what this really smells like. You already know how much money?
Yeah.
How much was it?
2 year, 31 mil, 23 guaranteed.
Yeah. That sounds like the team that was giving him the most money.
Yep.
So, the breaking news, while it is still breaking news, As far as how you like it, it kind of falls in the area of.
Sorry, B.
Cleveland, is that for you?
No, I know you saw that up there. But let me make sure we get this out to our Facebook people, right? And while I get this out to our Facebook people, let me also remind everybody where you can find the podcast at. We are back live for video on YouTube Live. Also, you can hear us live on the website mytsports.net. On the same website, mytsports.net, you can catch all of the old podcasts as well if you want to listen to them as well. If you would like to join the podcast, then come down to the Podbean app, and that way you'll actually be able to call into the podcast, and we'll be able to hear your opinions, and you can tell me I'm a fucking idiot, right? If you need to, or you can call in and be like, yo, the last time I called, I was a fuclike Conor McGregor's a fucking dorker. Like whatever you want to say.
I was like, yo, what the fuck did he say? What the fuck did he say? It really took me a minute to really make sure I heard it correctly. I was like, yo, I know I'm not high. Like, I ain't even smoke. I know I'm not high.
Now, for those, did that get onto the podcast?
No, that was the post.
Oh, was that strictly just bonus?
That was the bonus coverage.
You guys missed some bonus.
Yeah,
shit.
you missed some bonus coverage.
If you guys don't come,
Tyler was trying to be nice and give shit. It's Friday. Fuck it. We got 30 minutes of airtime for the week, and so it's like, why let it go to waste? So it's like, fuck it, just keep it on, and we'll just talk whatever shit we want to talk. It's you and me. Take no calls. But literally, as soon as Tyler finished saying that, phone ring. I said, in my head, I was like, don't answer it. Something told me. Something gave me a weird feeling. It was like, I don't feel like this is the call to take. And by the time it started, I was like, yeah.
But hey,
he should have taken this call.
That ended up being the call to take, though.
but why'd you drop it? Because it was literally about to. He was like, yo, I was just trying to give 30 minutes, and this dude tried to take up the whole time on the phone. I gotta hang up the call.
I eventually dropped it because I couldn't.
He wasn't prepared for all that. MMA talk. That's what it was.
I reached my capacity. I couldn't compose myself anymore. Let's put it that way. I
you couldn't compose yourself, and then ran out of MMA. It was like,
and then also, not for nothing,
you was
twice
talk to MMA that
twice. Okay, let me.
Oh yeah,
guys. That's why you like. So I always tell you guys about the Podbean app, right? To call in, right? But also the Podbean app is probably the number one place you're gonna get our bonus content. So there's so much behind the scenes shit that you guys don't get by not being part of Podbean, and I'm talking about pre-show, post-show, everything. Like there's a lot of bonus content that never makes it out into the internet world anywhere. But it happened on Podbean, and it happened live. It's not even so much that I didn't have anything else to say. I made
giving him takes, and it's my bad, mate. I didn't hear you.
I was on another line. I'm sorry, mate. And then he came in and he talked his dorker take, and then I went into some other shit, and then next thing you know, he
same thing again.
Like he's ordering like croquettes in the back and trying to catch salmon by hand in the local market. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm not doing this again. Like I done came through twice.
Strike 3, you out.
Yeah, I came through twice for you on some MMA shit, and here you go. Like and then like I said, he admitted like, yo, I called your show in the past. And the first time I called, I was a complete asshole, and you was even nice to me then. And you know you're nice to me now again. I really appreciate. Like, listen, call in. Like I said, you can. So technically, I've been trolled before, but us again. Like I'm so Floyd Mayweather with that shit. Like I'll be like, what? I don't even recognize that shit. Like, listen, I'm used to being on the radio. Like you can't troll experts. So. Shit. Let's get into it, right? Cause there's some real shit that we really want to talk about. So
First of all, first things first.
We got that Knick talk.
You know we got that
You know
Knick
we
talk.
got that Knick talk.
You know we got that Knick talk.
That Knick talk.
As the New York Knicks had 2 games over the weekend, right? One game versus. Did I not write that?
You knew Knicks talk was gonna be elite today.
Oh, listen. You know the Knicks
You
talk.
might get the whole show Knicks talk today.
Ooh.
That's how good I'm feeling.
Ooh.
You
So,
might get the whole hour and a half Knicks talk.
the Knicks had 2 games over the weekend. They had a back-to-back. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. And can I let you know that when I found out that we had 2 back-to-backs, I had to check the times to make sure we didn't have like two matinees back-to-back. Because you know we're infamous
like
for that shit too.
That night game and then turn around, boom, early game.
Or even like two 1 o'clock games, because they've done that too, like on Saturday as well. So I had to double check that, but that wasn't the case. So we played the Indianapolis Pacers one day, and then we turned around and we played the Detroit Pistons. The New York Knicks will come away with that weekend with an above
Undefeated.
500 record. Yes, the New York Knicks are now officially 18-17 as they get a W against Indianapolis. They get a W against the Detroit Pistons. And I'm telling you, these W's. The first game was against the Indianapolis Pacers, and the New York Knicks actually came out looking a little lethargic, and they looked like they were going to lose that game. Down early as much as about, I think, 13 in the first quarter. They came back around, and by the end of that half, the New York Knicks were holding on to a lead, and they never looked back. The defense stifling, offense clicking. I mean, like, hot damn. And in case you guys in case you guys are now just joining us live and didn't catch what I said on the on a little snippet of the pre-show, everybody, and when I mean everybody, is out there giving Tom Thibodeau his kudos, which he so rightfully deserves. But they're giving him his kudos not for coaching. They're giving him his kudos for, I guess, it's a little bit of coaching. Could they say that he's holding players accountable? But every time they say he's holding players accountable, it's like he's holding players accountable on defense. And if you don't show up on defense, you're doing this. But you know what? They don't talk enough about his coaching. They don't say enough about the fact that every single last one of his players have regurgitated. When you go into a game, you are prepared for everything. He gets you prepared for every scenario. So really, it is just up to us to execute. They regurgitate this as if it is a mantra.
There you go.
Thank you. I had a little
Way to
hiccups
slow it
over there.
down. You gotta slow it down. Sometimes about how fast we talk, sometimes you just gotta slow it down. Sometimes our New York talk is a little bit too fast for us.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
Tell me, be cool. Cause the New York Knicks, for real, like they come. Listen, the New York Knicks are officially in the top 4 of the playoffs. They came into the top half of the playoffs with their dick in their hand. Like, be cool, nigga.
Nigga, we have home court first round right now. Fuck is you talking about?
And let me add this in there because I said this a little bit briefly, and this wasn't anywhere. If the playoffs started right now, the New York Knicks will be playing the Miami Heat. And can I tell you, I want all that smoke. I want all of that.
Nate Dogg School of Medicine.
All of that heat, B. I want all of it. Because you know what? I think we can beat the Heat in a 7-game series. Yeah, I said it. Let the New York Knicks match up with the Heat. I think the Knicks can beat the Heat.
You don't want it.
No.
You don't want it.
You know what?
Mark this down. What's today's date?
You know what?
March 1st, 2021.
Colin
Talon thinks Knicks can whoop Heat in 7-game series. And I, for one, second the motion. And now, actually, while Talon writes that down, just a small nugget on the Heat to actually give y'all some type of positivity. which I hate to do. But you have one of my players that who I really fuck with, so I'm not just gonna drop him because he went to your team. Unlike some people who would do over here. Jimmy Butler.
He's a hard one to judge. He's the hardest person I've ever had to judge that he played.
Jimmy fucking Butler. Let me tell you about this nigga here. So, you get the news, Kevin Durant, he can't make the All-Star game anymore because his injury's going to take him through the weekend, through the All-Star weekend. Cool, okay. So now the question becomes, who do you replace him? Me, personally, I thought the person who ended up getting selected, that was the person who I said immediately needed to be replacing anyway. No, Sabonis. Levine's already in there. Levine's already locked. Yeah, I said Sabonis because he didn't even make the squad at all.
Oh, the Indiana guy.
Yeah.
Yes. He actually.
I was like, what? When I first saw the whole team, I was like, wait, no Sabonis at all? But so they were choosing. But then I saw this thing on Instagram, and I even sent it to the crew so they can see it. It said Jimmy Butler was their selection. He was the one that they was gonna put. But he said no. When I first saw that, I'm like, wait, what the fuck he said no for? And then I saw he said no because he said if Bam Adebayo can't go with him, I don't want to go. Talk about riding for your homies. If our friendship ain't on that type of level where you wouldn't go to All-Star for me, I don't want it. I don't want it. Word to moms, I do not want that shit. That nigga turned out an All-Star game for that man. Then again, it is also easier when a lot of NBA players do not want to go to the All-Star game anyway because of COVID-19. But
true.
Nonetheless.
Oh, speaking of Obi Toppin, slam dunk contest. Julius Randle, All-Star game.
Love it.
New York Knicks are gonna be represented.
Represent.
So, New York Knicks, 18-17, 2 games, one against Indianapolis, the other one against Detroit.
Knicks
right?
Knicks talk.
The first game against Indianapolis, they dropped that early lead. They would end up coming back into that game. They would get a lead in the half, and then they would not look back after that. They would lead in the third. They would end up leading in the fourth. They would now end up winning this game by only 3 points, but that's because it was a close game. And not for nothing, Indianapolis Pacers were considered a good team, or are considered a good team, well coached, well put together, everything else. Indianapolis Pacers have been in the playoffs the last 2-3 years or some shit like that, right? But even more impressive, not even the fact that the Indianapolis Pacers have been in the league. I mean, in the playoffs the last 2-3 years, or the fact that the New York Knicks have won 7 of the last 10 games with Derrick Rose. Or 5 of their last 7 games, something like that, or 7 of the last 10. One of the same shit. 5 of 7 is 71%, 7 of 10 is 70%. Doesn't let you know either way. Right? So
C's get degrees, big fella.
The New York Knicks are actually starting to roll, and them coming back against the Indianapolis Pacers, I was actually impressed. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle started off that game a little bit slow as well, and then you saw him pick up the pace a little bit towards it. And this was actually the case for both games a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. I think Indianapolis and Detroit, he started off a little bit slow, but I was looking for his guys early on, and then in the third and fourth turned it on, and once he turned it on, it was a wrap. I'm starting to notice Obi Toppin a little bit more, but I still
need to see it.
Yeah,
need to see it, Obi.
Emmanuel quickly.
My nigga.
I'm gonna ask you something.
My nigga,
Emmanuel Quickly is top 3 in a category in the league. What category do you think he's in the top 3 of?
Points per game as a 6-man?
That would have been an advanced stat that I did not look into. So maybe. Free throw percentage. Emmanuel Quickly has officially, as of the Detroit game, has taken 100 free throws off the bench. Can you care to guess how many of those free throws he has made to be in the top 3 of free throws?
91.
94.
Because I know Steph and Dame is like one is like 98, the other is like 96.
Well, he's above in percentage-wise. He's above Steph and he's above Dame. They're 4 and 5.
Who's 1 and 2? Just interesting. Just interesting. Just because of how much.
Yeah.
It's only interesting just when you think of how crucial free throws are in a basketball game, and then you see some of these guys, to be honest, who can't make a free throw to save their life. Who out here going superstars going 1 for 10 for the free throw.
I actually had that written down.
Shaq, Hacker Jordan.
I'm tripping. I actually had that written down because I actually was very prepared for that. So one of them is unexpected. Jordan Clarkson from Utah. He's number 1, shooting over 96%, 96.4. Then number 2 is our favorite failure.
Yes.
Chris Paul, CP3. And listen, I know it sounds bad to call Chris Paul that, but he really is our favorite fall. Like his failures don't stink. Like we could call him what it is. His failures just don't stink.
Right. His failures still smell like Febreze.
I told you every time he like that relationship goes bad, like he changes states or whatever, gets some new cologne. You know what I mean? He like if he was wearing,
he's the ain't shit nigga who keeps
exactly.
finding the show.
Like if he was wearing Versace in L.A., like he's wearing like Rockaware in
New York.
Yeah. He's wearing Rockaware in Phoenix, or he's wearing like Da Vinci in Phoenix. You know what I mean? Like he never smells the same, but he's gonna get lots of play. And then as soon as people catch on to his shit, he's like, you know what? I'm about to accept a job in another city. Sorry, people. Sorry, ladies. And then you kind of revere what he did, cause then shit ain't quite the same. Shit ain't quite as exciting. Yeah, she ain't killed Childress Gilchrist, but yeah, he be doing some things, but you ain't looking at OK City like for nothing anymore.
Hell
like for
no.
nothing.
So fuck about if I'm watching an OKC game.
And didn't he damn near put up 50 the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Did he? Okay, I'm about to say
like 43, something like that.
And nothing. I'm just telling you guys, guys, listen. You know, let me just go ahead and put this out there right now. For all you guys like Devin Booker, for all you guys like Damian Lillard, for all you underappreciated stars out there, tired of not getting the love that you deserve, not getting the fan votes that you think you deserve. You know what I mean? Like, if you're tired of being underappreciated, come over to the Knicks.
Factory.
I guarantee you,
you will be loved.
you don't even have to put in as much work as you was putting in there, and you will guarantee you that you will get into all of these All-Star games. And I guarantee you, any personal endeavor that you have going on for yourself will multiply by 3. These are guarantees. But if you're tired, you know what I mean, of your general manager dancing in the background talking about we're gonna get our culture better, we gotta get our guy voted in. Listen, we can solve all that. Just come to the Knicks. We got you. We got you.
MyT.
That part.
So 94 for 100 for Emmanuel quickly. They land him 3rd as for free throws, only behind CP3 and Claxton. Now we have two of the top 10 shot blockers in the league as well, with Nerson Noel sitting at 4.
I would figure he's way up there.
And Mitchell Robinson at 8.
And this is with him missing a month of games. That's the thing. We just got over 500, and we don't even have our big man back.
And from day one, I've kind of liked the intensity that Nerson Noel has played with, because he has played every single game as if, you know what, Mitch? If you slip, I'm trying to take your spot. He's been playing like that, and not for nothing. And Mitchell Robinson, he's been frustrated. He's been like, yo, give me more playing time, give me the ball, but still being one of the top 10 blockers and still doing everything possible to help the team win. And And initially for those first couple of games, you can still see it sometimes that the defense, a lot more shit is allowed at the rim with Nerson Noel there, but for some reason he just gets more blocks sometimes. But Mitch Robinson gets more on the ball blocks, on jump shooters. You know what I mean? And he even gets at the rim sometimes. So it's one of those weird things. But Nerson Noel's like yesterday's game, that defense he picked it up. He really picked up his defense yesterday. Really, but all of them did. Derrick Rose quickly, like they were in the passing lane, like they Detroit could not pass that ball the other day, so yesterday on Sunday, like they were in the pass lane, they were harassing, and again, shout out to Mike Woodson for like I said, as much as we know how good Tom Thibodeau is, but you be negligent, and that's what I'm calling ESPN and all of these goddamn talking heads and pontificating. They have been negligent by leaving out Mike Woodson out of their talk, by completely dismissing him. God, that's what it is. They've been dismissing him as one of the biggest catalysts for how well this team has been playing because they haven't been giving him the rightful credit for defense. Like, you got two defensive minds. Like, goddamn, can you imagine the shit that they think of together? And like one thing sees something, the other one doesn't. And then when they finally see it together, it's like, oh shit. Like, yo, we can clamp them the fuck down. And then next thing you know, what do you have? You have 100-something, 101 to 87 victory over Detroit. Whatever the fuck it was the other day. What was that score? 109-90. 19-point victory.
Yeah, it probably was worse than that.
Against Detroit, and then and that's coming off of a back-to-back when you had a 3-point victory, a comeback 3-point victory, and a hard-fought game comeback victory against Detroit. And not for nothing,
go on the road.
The New York Knicks in the past, like, and I get it, the Detroit Pistons are 9-25, like nothing to sneeze at, right?
But
this is a back-to-back, and we have seen in the past, and all you could be compared to is your past. And for the most part, a lot of the players that's on the team now were on the team last year. So even when we say compared to the past, we're talking about last year's team. Or when you hear me talk about the past, I'm talking about last year's team. Last year, this team would have quit. This team could have easily found a way off a back-to-back like that to feel themselves or get ahead of it and quit right here and go on. Like, oh my God, what did we hear? Some team was like on like an 11-game losing streak, and I'm like, yo, that used to be Houston. Us. That was our pain. We were over there with the Ja Rule titles. So, Knicks fans, as you've been hearing, Knicks fans, I don't know if you've heard, by the way. I'm not you, but I'm talking to everybody else now. But I don't know if you guys have heard. But Knicks fans everywhere is ecstatic. They started partying. Like, they started banging pots and pans and they lived in Hialeah. Like, this has been that kind of celebration. And guys, just remember, we've been here for a while. When you start hearing these talking heads say, "Oh, who saw this coming?" Remember, the MyT Sports Podcast saw this coming. We've been here for a while. When they've been out, it's like when you hear them say, "Oh, nobody thought they were gonna possibly get into the playoffs." No. We identified them as a playoff game, as a playoff team within 10 games. It's just that nobody else had the balls to do it. And granted, there's a lot of them talking right now. They still don't have the balls to fully sign their name on it. They're like, the ifs and the then and the then. And I'm over here saying, no, Knicks are a playoff team.
Buy that stock now. Buy it. Don't be too late when it's too expensive.
Also,
go hop on this train.
Tell me about that stock my brother keeps told us to buy the other day. That Bands one. Are you in that money line text?
No, you never added me.
Really?
Mm-mm.
How bad? I'll get you in there. I gotta get you in there. So the New York Knicks officially are 12th in the league, 4th in the conference, 3rd in the division.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to hear it.
Now, what I can say for a lot of people, right? And probably what they're talking about. I don't think a lot of individuals thought they would turn around was going to be this quick before the season started. They probably thought this was probably still going to be decent, even when I took the numbers. Remember, I had 12 wins, right? 12 wins is going to be just about where I was anticipating in the first half. Anything that would have been bonus. But that was 12 wins out of an identified 16 winnable games. They've exceeded expectations at this point. Like at 19 right now, right? 19? 19? 18.
18 and 17.
18 and 17. So they've even exceeded my expectations. Right, and that's just when I did the numbers, but you see them getting better. I am fully at the point. If I had, I'm okay. So the elephant of the room in the room, the two-sided coin. Do the Knicks ride this out, or do they add another piece to see if they can still get better?
Ride it out. Ride it out. Ride it out.
And
Because I think worrying about a trade for right now, I think worrying about a trade goes to the mindset of you're thinking about the immediate. Right now, the way this is moving, think the rest of this year, but think off season in terms of what you can attract. Think of future seasons, especially with the core. Like, because I feel like backup point guard was something that was needed. We addressed it with Rose to really push who's here now.
And not for nothing, if you want to, you can get another point guard this year in the draft. Or a big man. Either or, not a big. Or, just add more wings. Because, maybe another big man to help support either Randall or
Robinson.
Thing, but looks like North should know well, if he can stay healthy, playing limited minutes, he can be a nice backup. And they're all ball. Sorry, I didn't even cut. I'm just sad. It's an exciting time to be a Knicks fan.
It is. It's a great time to be a Knicks fan.
And
This is the time when you see the shit. You just stay quiet. You stay quiet. Because that's all I'm doing. Because I'm not jinxing shit. I'm not trying to jinx nothing here. Like, chilling.
And I'm too braggadocious for that shit. No, fuck that.
But as soon as this shit really jump off, and I was just talking to my bro yesterday. I was like, yo, bro, listen. The day the Knicks is back to winning like 50 games a season, 60 games, I tell you, like, yeah, bitch, what? Talk shit now. Talk shit now, nigga.
So, the New York Knicks,
better record than the Heat.
So I know that we want to. Did I already say that New York? Oh, I already said that New York Knicks could beat the Miami Heat. Oh wait, let me do this again because I wanted to make sure I mark this down. In a 7-game series, I 100% believe. Actually, no. Let me make sure I say this with a little bit bravado. Right? It currently stands right now. The New York Knicks on the 4th seed, and the Miami Heat on the 5th seed. I'm saying it right now. All my chest that says playoffs, New York Knicks across.
Tell them
that the New York Knicks play the Miami Heat in a 7-game series.
Tell
they're
them
waxing that ass.
Tell them
that's it.
Danger zone.
I mean,
Not a mercy.
Danger zone.
That's a big God of mercy. All of the mercy again.
Not a mercy.
that's it. I had to make sure I mark that down. I'm starting to make a collection of these damn
And
things.
7 is because we being nice and having some type of respect.
Well, no, I'm not saying I didn't say they'll beat them in 7 games. They'll beat them in a 7-game series.
Haha.
I didn't put how many games on it. The Miami Heat the Miami Heat that played in the bubble last year is not the Miami Heat that's playing right now.
Shout out to COVID and injuries.
Now
They did just beat Utah over the weekend.
did they beat Utah?
Yeah. Put 126 on their head.
Now if Miami Heat can realize, once we get into the playoffs, we have to get back to that level, we have to get back to that championship level and play that kind of intensity. Maybe they have that back in them. But if they play like this, we're beating them. If they play like how they played in the bubble, oh, it's a wrap for us. And it'll probably be a 5-6 game series, maybe. And we'll get 2. But what? So I know how most Knicks fans feel, right? Because even I feel this way, that we should stay put. But if we don't stay put, the two likely candidates is sounding like is either gonna be Bradley Beal or Victor Oladipo. And I'm at a weird crossroad, right? And if I had to pull a trigger right now, I would lean more to Victor Oladipo than I would Bradley Beal, just because
of what you have to give up.
Yeah, because giving up Bradley Beal would be like another Melo move. You would have to gut all of the things that you like.
Yes.
And that will be nicking up the place. That will be the Knicks barking up the place again. You know, like you want.
That'll be up, same old Knicks.
Yeah, like actually, you know what? This is when we go from being the Knicks to being the Barkers. I think that's the perfect way to say it. Like, because like we just barking a bark, like just I don't even know what barking is. I'm gonna look up that word later, see if it means anything. But that's but that's what it is. Like they go to being the Barkers.
The Barkers.
You know, because like that's what it be. The same old Knicks just fucking up the shit. But a Victor Oladipo, to me, doesn't sound bad. Now, can I tell you something though? Right? And even though I still have no problem letting him go, I see improvement in Frank Ntilikina. I've seen improvement in here this year. I can't now.
When he gets his run.
Even like nothing like that. Even Kevin Knox, I saw improvement in. Like because like Frank Ntilikina, like I when he came in the other day, no hesitation to shoot the ball, to shoot the three. I don't know if it was the Indiana. I think it was the Indiana game. Had no hesitation to shoot the three. Caught the ball, threw it up, and I was like, oh, shit, that was Frank. Didn't even think about it. Like back in the day, Frank would at least have given them a hezzy. So I was like, okay, and then he helped add to the defensive intensity that was already going on. Like got into the passing lane, was harassing, got caught for a cheap pushing foul where he pushed somebody out of bounds. But cool, push him out of bounds. Get nasty. You know what I mean? Shit. So it would cost a whole lot less. Like it would probably just cost Frank and Kevin Knox to get Victor Oladipo, where it's gonna cost you either Julius Randle or R.J. Barrett and a bunch other shit to get Bradley Beal. I'm looking at this. I'm glad, like I said, I've already made up my mind that I'm willing to ride this the fuck out. But if the Knicks are content on pulling the trigger to add another piece, I may just and also because it's still and also let me add this, because you give up very little to get him, right? And he's one of those dog-like and I think I've already said it before. He's a dog-like mentality on the court. So being a two-way player is nothing for him. You know that he will attack. So if Bonafide gets another person that the defense has to pay attention to, a Bonafide. So guess what that actually does? If you have the right lineup in, it gives you 3 people that the defense has to pay attention to. So now, if you have a guy like Alex Burke out there, right, or you find yourself a shooting big, or anything, or a good cutting big, because now the fucking Canelo lane is wide the fuck open even more, right? Like that does nothing but help. That helps R.J. Barrett. That helps Alex Burke. That helps Bullocks. But also, because you haven't given up that much, it leaves your free agency very wide the fuck open still. And so he doesn't handicap, like, and granted, if you get Bradley Beal, like, you're cuffing him. You don't have to worry about being handicapped by anything. You're cuffing that motherfucker. But the move with Oladipo, you don't get handicapped by your moves. Like, it still leaves you the room to still play the field. But like, yo, I like you, boo, but you're just not marrying type. But again, if the New York Knicks decide to run this strictly through with the current squad, let them get it figured out, right? Let them go through the true ups and downs of the season. Like I said, I had a feeling that once the Knicks broke 500, they probably weren't going to look back. Like hopefully they stay this around 2 games around 500. Like they probably keep on flirting like 1 to 2. You know what I mean? Let's see if they can get 5 games above 500. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the last month of the season, those last 6 games or whatever, that last 2 weeks is gonna be brutal. They're gonna be fighting for their playoff lives and playoff spots, which is gonna be even better because if Tom Thibodeau has them as prepared for every game the way they say it is, and we know that Woodson is gonna be having a D plan, and he's gonna bounce it off of Tom Thibodeau that's gonna fill in any possible holes that he thinks that he may have seen, and we go into a playoff series, then why not? Like teams could get got by what the Knicks bring, and also those guys are gonna have them towards the end of the season. They're gonna have them feeling like, hey, every game's a playoff game. So even before they get into the playoffs, they're gonna put that playoff intensity on them. Because actually, you know what? Not for nothing. And I say the playoff intensity because, you know what? One of them already came out and said it kind of feels like a playoff game every time we play because he has us prepared for every single play and every single moment that well. So they already kind of feel like they're just ramping it up. When it gets to that final 6, that's gonna the New York Knicks' biggest test. I don't care about nothing else this season right now, right? They're gonna have their ups and downs of their roller coaster. Now that I know what it is, their biggest test. You know how you said like, oh, some teams aren't being judged until they make it to the finals. Some teams are gonna be judged a lot. I'm gonna fully judge the Knicks those last 2 weeks of the playoffs, last 2 weeks of the season. That's how I'm gonna fully judge them by. You know, I've been giving them that first pass, but then you would have had enough. When I judge them, I'm gonna look how to see how they play then. Those 6 roll games.
That's the final exam right there.
Let me see how you look then. Let me see how you hold up. Let me see if you crack. Because that's when the pressure's gonna be real tight.
That West Coast 6 game.
Because that's gonna make that. Because depending on where they're at, I don't expect the Knicks to be 6 games above 500. Not saying they're gonna lose all 6. I'm just saying I don't expect them to be 6 games above 500. Listen, that you're gonna have to make sure that you really keep your spot secure because we're seeing that on any given night, the Knicks with every day, with every win, with every loss, they're going anywhere from the 7th seed to the 4th seed. Right now, it's only staying this way. There were only 4 teams above 500 at one point in time in the East, or 3, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know how. I didn't take a look to see how many there are now. I can get that real quick. So
I'm about to one up your talk about the Knicks in the playoffs.
Go ahead.
Because you said just from how the standings are right now, that they'll play Miami and they'll beat them, which I agree. That would mean, as currently constructed, that means we would see Philly in the second round, most likely.
Yes.
Don't be surprised if the Knicks wouldn't make the conference finals. Seven-game series, familiarity with Philly. Embiid against Robinson, Randall, and Noel over 7 games. Playing the way he's been playing all year, possibly could be tired. Exactly. Ben Simmons who can't shoot. So that just helps us focus more on somebody else, like maybe a Seth Curry who has it rolling that night, or if Tobias has it going.
So can I tell you what I really want for the Knicks, to be honest?
And it's not like they're deep on the bench either.
I want the Knicks to find another center. I want them to find another big man.
Because the way Embiid is playing, you're gonna need bodies to throw at that motherfucker.
I want them to find another, for the Embiids, for the guy in Orlando, for the guy in Indianapolis, for the guy in Utah, for the guy in Denver, for the guy in LA. Like, there are a lot of big men in the league that are skilled.
Even the one in Minnesota too.
Even the one in Portland. Like, you still need some bodies for Cantor, because Cantor is an offensive rebounder and
not just Cantor. What's his name? Nurkic when he's healthy.
Him too. So, the one in Phoenix. You know, so I really
Even
want.
though he's a cheater.
Yeah, still really use it. So I want him to get another center. I honestly kind of wonder what would Andre Drummond cost us on the free market if he gets released by his team.
You about to find out.
Because
nobody's biting on that trade.
Because he's and you know he's gonna have his pick of tons of teams. He's a dog enough to go to play for the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau and love every bit of it. And he would so push Mitchell Robinson for that starting position. But then could you imagine that now, right? That instead of that now, if let's say he beats him out though, right? But then now for the backup, right? When you get ready to put in your bench, when you have Emmanuel quickly with whatever two guards that you run Nerson Noel and Mitchell Robinson now. The kind of defense that they can pull off. Them flying and swatting at every single ball. Them running the pick and roll and you just get it over the top to either one of them. You know what I mean? Both of them being able to help on the weak side defense. That's just saying if he beats out Mitchell Robinson for that starting position. Because he's just a little bit more aggressive inside to try to, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Aggressive inside, throws his way a little bit more and able to put up a consistent 20 points or something, maybe 18 points.
With double-digit rebounds.
Exactly, and still 2 to 3 blocks.
Shoot, at least once every other month, I definitely see a 20-20 game from Andre Drummond going on.
Because now you get both. Now you get all three of them. And to be honest with you, like if you want to do it,
eating boards.
You can split it out to 16 minutes. Yeah, 16 minutes per person, so that you don't, and just get the hot hand, and you keep them rotated so they can stay healthy. You know what I mean? Like so that one
number
person.
Number 1 rebounding team in the league incoming.
So that's probably
might have one of the worst free throw shooters.
Marcus told me to slow down. I don't know how long ago that was. So Andre Drummond.
Hey Mark, go away, man. We don't need your negativity here.
Andre Drummond will, as much as I think about Victor Oladipo, Andre Drummond is somebody else that really intrigues me. And then not to mention, even more so, Andre Drummond and Victor Oladipo added to this team intrigues me both at the same time.
Definitely an off-season move.
So let's say the Knicks go the same route where they just worry about going through the fight and they do their own thing.
Besides, Thibodeau's that type of person.
Yeah,
Write it out.
Yeah, and even though he wanted somebody, but now he got his point guard. Like I was like this. We're about to have a week off. We're gonna have a couple of players represented the Knicks represented in the All-Star weekend. Week. And Obi Toppins. It'll be interesting to see if IQ made the 3-point contest. I don't know if that's out yet, or if he made the skill challenge. If they're still finding a way to do one.
They're doing all of it. I think
they're having it at different HBCU, so each event is going to be in a different school or something like that, right? That's what you're trying to say? I got you.
But even at, I think the dunk contest is at halftime, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think they're doing the dunk contest at halftime. I don't remember exactly when the 3-point is going to be. Because I think they're doing some of it before the game.
Dunk contest in the middle.
And I don't think they're doing anything after. If anything, it might be the 3-point and the dunk contest at halftime.
I didn't hear about the 3-point contest at halftime. I definitely heard about the dunk.
Because I know they're doing some of it before the game even starts.
So maybe they do the skill challenge and they do the 3-point contest before.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Because remember, they find a way to get you glued. Because you know what? Because they can find a way to get you glued in for
a solid 5-6 hours.
6 to 8, yeah, exactly, like 6 to 8 hours of television. If they give you whatever, you know what I mean? Obviously, they got to get the boys from TNT out there. But you know,
of course.
They give you they give you the skills challenge. Are we doing the rookie game? Or are we losing the rookie game?
How are they gonna lose the rookie game? I haven't heard nothing about the rookie game. That would just be too much time, and then a whole nother set of players coming in. Doesn't make sense.
So we'll keep out. You know what?
I don't think they're having the rookie game.
We'll end up doing our research for Wednesday's podcast, and because that's next week, isn't it? Or about a week from now.
That's Sunday.
So yeah, so we'll start having what's going on, Pillow Talk podcast. They're a great podcast to listen to as well, as you guys must have listened to already by the name. It'll be interesting to see. So I have to look again and see what the format is and see when they're gonna have everything done, because Wednesday we'll probably talk heavy All-Star. If I'm thinking about it, that'll be an easy way to take up the whole show. No rookie game? Okay. I didn't think the rookie game made it. I know something didn't make it. So damn, that kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, right?
Because Obi Toppins is somebody that I would have liked to see in that setting, playing with his teammates. That he would have thrived there. Like he would have put on a show there.
Because there's been a lot of guys. There's been a lot of guys who go to that rookie sophomore game and come back with the utmost confidence.
You don't get it. Like Emmanuel quickly would have done some dumb shit and try to act like not dumb shit. I mean like go dumb. Like he would have done some dumb shit, right? And go up and possibly try to make like 9 3-pointers in that game while having like 5 alley-oop assists to Obi Toppins. And Emmanuel quickly, god damn, B, like, so I'm glad he just popped in my head. Emmanuel quickly.
I got the whole schedule now for how this shit gonna go.
You wanna drop it now? Or you wanna save it to us?
Drop it now.
Drop it now.
It's quick. So 5 p.m. This is on Sunday, March 7th, 5 p.m. Coverage begins.
That's this week.
Yeah.
So when's their break? When's the last game of the week?
Wednesday, I think. Thursday. Thursday was the last. Thursday was last night,
and then
they come back. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah. So coverage begins at 5. Skills challenge.
Mark,
challenge at
come prepared with. Sorry, Mark. Come prepared with your All-Star lineup. Like I haven't even looked to see who made the lineup yet, so I'll be giving you whoever I just think is an All-Star. So we'll still do that.
Okay.
Like I purposely haven't looked to see who made the All-Star teams, just so I can do that as pure as possible for the for the podcast. Because you wanted that, and I didn't realize how you wanted it presented the first time. Like you know what I mean? So I wanted to try to keep it as pure in its essence as possible, without even looking to see who the hell made the All-Star team. Actually, sometimes it's like I'd be like, oh, so I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize he made it because I haven't looked. Like I know there's some disrespects. I know who is always on the cusp. And listen, Devin Booker, you don't have to have those kind of stresses in your life anymore. Listen, you're dealing with. Remember, Leon Rose. That used to be your agent, B. Like, just come on, son.
Come on home. The New York community would embrace.
Call Anthony Towns.
The New York Knicks embrace the light-skinned community.
Would you give up Mitchell Robinson for calling Anthony Towns?
Give up Mitchell Robinson for yes.
Call Anthony Towns. Rose used to be your agent. Come on, listen. We know you go through some hard times. Bring the family to New York.
Yeah, New York shows love in times of heartache.
Get yourself a high rise and we got
New York shows love in heartache. Come on, B. Come on. Devin, Julius,
for real.
Carl Anthony Towns, RJ. Bitch. Shit, I gotta walk it off. Ooh.
Wait, but I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's take a break. Oh, okay, shit. Emmanuel quickly. Wanted to say something about him.
My nigga IQ.
Because I said something about him within his first 3 games, and now it's coming to fruition, right? Or it's coming to be his norm. Which a lot of things about the Knicks is changing, right? And this goes to speak to you sometimes about the NBA and how your reputation and how you're perceived or how your reputation is. How some guys are able to talk more shit to the refs versus other, and not just superstars, but go really beyond because the referee is like, hey, that's just their nature, that's how they are. And when other guys do it, it's automatic tech, you know what I mean? Or some people that's able to get away with a little bit more physicality because they're known to be a hard-nosed defensive player, and yet other guys, the moment they touch you, it's a foul.
Fuck these refs. These bitches can't even determine what the fuck a travel is.
So,
whatever that bullshit was in Milwaukee. This nigga Giannis look like a fucking running back want to dunk the ball in the clutch. No fucking travel. Suck dick.
I didn't get to see the end of that game.
My God. Oh, I'm gonna show you when we off air. That Trevor look big. I'm like, yo, you have to dribble one time before you go up for your dunk. I don't care how long your wingspan is.
But that goes to right here. We go to help him out. We're talking about reputation. The reputation of Giannis is that he can go from end to end in like 3 steps. So nobody pays attention to when depending on when he crosses half court and he's taking more than 3 steps to.
Look at this shit.
Let's see. 1, 2.
No. You didn't see the stutter as he caught the ball?
I want to see the replay. I'm waiting for it to come back. folks. Okay, let's see. Nah, that was crazy.
You wow. You wow. That in trouble.
Yo, wait, hold on a second. KJ, do you not like Giannis?
Oh, no, I love Giannis.
Oh, okay.
Love Giannis.
Okay.
No. Everybody know me. I'm fair.
I just don't know because I just want to find out who that player is for you.
I'm not like you. I respect greatness.
Because man, talk about respecting greatness, man. Jimmy Butler.
Ooh.
Man, like you know.
That's a different type of greatness that we see.
For real. He's one. Like I said. You know, just one time.
The J, the I, the M, the N, the Y, the J, the I, the M, that Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler really makes it hard to dislike him as a Heat fan because you know what? Because he's a real nigga. Let's just really let's just say exactly what it is. He's a real nigga. Like ain't shit fake about him like that you can tell. You know what I mean? Like so what like when he like that's what makes it so. I know, like, I'm not saying that, like, Alonzo Mourning or any of these guys were fake, or Tim Hardaway Sr. or any of these guys were fake. I'm just saying that they already got those guys. Like Jimmy Butler got implanted here, and I'm just like, you just really. I'm having technical difficulties.
Technical about that.
He really is a real motherfucker. So okay, so back to what I was saying, right? Before I sidetrack.
Technical difficulties.
And I'm gonna start before I get to Emmanuel quickly. I'm gonna start with somebody else that his reputation has changed, right? Mitchell Robinson used to have a fouling problem because any little bit of contact he made with the offensive play, they called a foul on him. And that kind of started early in the season for him, right? Those same kind of tendencies. But as the reputation of the team grew to be a defensive team, a hard-nosed team, you started seeing the referee started slacking off and started allowing him a little bit more contact. So part of the reason why Mitchell Robinson is not fouling out of games anymore isn't because he's so much playing that much differently, is that he is no longer perceived as by the refs as a guy that fouls a lot. This is just hard defense that he's playing. Now, let's forward to the guy that I've actually said all of this to really talk about, Emmanuel Quickly. Within his first 3 games, we noticed a pattern of his, and he wasn't getting these calls initially. And that was the contact on his shots when he draws contest play. But we identified it and was like, listen, this is a pro move. If you keep doing this, you make this your tendency. Like, I didn't expect him to start getting it once again called. Started having it called so often for him as a rookie, right? Because normally these are calls that they make it seem like you have to earn or whatever. But we saw the fact that he was able to go out and get these things, or he was trying to draw that contact. In the beginning, he wasn't getting those calls. Now, he gets those calls. He is getting those calls like anybody else. Do you realize he has had 4 4-point plays this season?
No mercy. Cleveland! This is for you!
I was gonna always pull it when you least expected it. Oh Oh shit. Yo, can I tell you, this has been one of my favorite drops to play recently. Oh shit. So I didn't play that for no reason at all. I didn't
feel about that drop the way Tyler feels about Brady, Reggie, LeBron, Kyrie. When anybody bashes the ladies, James Dolan,
Oh my god.
the Cowboys,
Yo.
the Dolphins.
Oh shit.
That's how I feel about that drop.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
Oh man. So I didn't play that for no reason whatsoever. I was doing a segue. I was transitioning because while Emmanuel Quickly has been surprising us on the court as a rookie, somebody that's not quite on the court of basketball has surprised us as well, and he happens to actually be a very well-known person, athlete, in his own space, in his own right. And that is, I don't know his last name, but his first name is Zlatan. And that's what, and the reason I don't know his Zlatan's last name, because
That name is a motherfucker.
I didn't think that you need to know Zlatan's last name. I thought Zlatan was like LeBron. You only need to know him by first name. Like, to be honest with you. So you go figure out what Zlatan's last name is. But I think he plays for the LA team, right?
Yeah, Galaxy.
LA Galaxy. There we go. Okay. I didn't want to. I had Galaxy on my tongue, but I didn't want to say it because it didn't feel right. But yeah. So he plays for the LA's soccer team. And Zlatan came out the other day, and he said to LeBron, "Shut the fuck up and dribble." No, that's not what he said.
But basically, like,
What Zlatan said, right? And was there a clip or was it? What did you show me? Did you show me a clip or did you show me a quote?
it was a quote, but I think when I saw it on IG, let me see. I think I can find it right here.
Cause, all right. So Zlatan put out a tweet, right, about LeBron James, and in that tweet, he basically tells LeBron James that. He goes. Actually, he doesn't. It's not that he tells LeBron James. I thought personally. Actually, not. Let me read it to you guys, and let me let you guys judge exactly what Zlatan said. So that you guys can kind of judge it for yourself. Now, you know what sucks is that I can't find what Zlatan said either, because all I am getting right now is LeBron James's comeback. You haven't found? Oh, even better. Perfect. Now, he said more than this, right? I remember what you showed me. Like there was a little bit more than this, because I don't think this fully does what he said justice. But I'll go ahead and I'll still read it and let me see if I can still pull exactly what I still needed there, because there was a lot more. But he goes, LeBron is phenomenal at what he's doing. But I don't like it when people with some kind of status and they do politics at the same time as what they're doing. I mean, do what you're good at. Yeah, he said a lot more than that, right? And
Let's see if I can find it.
yeah, like he said a lot more than that. And it's kind of like the Russell Wilson shit, right? If that's all that is seen, then I get it. I get what people will be mad at. If you saw everything that Zlatan said, right, then there's a little bit more because, to be honest with you, until I find, let me let you know exactly how I felt about it. What Zlatan said was a lot more revealing about Zlatan than it was a shot at LeBron James, right? because the way that I took it is, as Zlatan said, that I'm not good at politics.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Right?
We go.
So he's phenomenal, but I don't like. Okay, so a little bit more, and the Lipsies be like they cut some stuff off, but this gives me a little bit more of what I'm saying. Like, so he's phenomenal at what he's doing, but I don't like when people have some kind of status and they do politics. I play football because I'm the best in playing football. That's the first mistake people do when they become famous. They come into a certain status, stay out of it, just do what you're best at because it doesn't look good. Okay, so a little bit more of that, of what he said. I play football because I'm the best at playing football. Zlatan to me basically came off as saying that, you know what? I'm only good at football. I'm not good at politics. I don't feel comfortable doing other shit outside of football. I'm really comfortable doing shit I'm really doing cool for doing shit for football. I'm not cool for doing shit for politics. Can you if you can you find me the LeBron James audio of what he said? Okay, because I would like to get that played because what LeBron James said was amazing, right? Because he even added some shit onto the end that I wanted to hear.
Whenever you're ready.
So, what I heard Zlatan say is that I'm not good at politics. I'm not smart enough to do politics and play sports. So, for somebody like me, and normally, this is how I take people like Zlatan when they say comments like that, is that they're casting themselves outwards, right? And putting how they would handle that situation in LeBron's person, right? Like, oh, he's feel like people in LeBron's status shouldn't talk politics because we don't really know politics. Because, like you know, you say what you're good at, but he came and told on himself, I'm good at football. I do football. So he's saying like, yo, I'm not comfortable doing politics. So if anything political come up, I'm probably gonna shut my mouth and go kick this fucking ball because I'm not comfortable at doing the politics. So don't come to me and ask me political shit when it comes to politics because all I'm good at is football. I'm a football person. I'm a soccer jockey, and that's it. Well, LeBron James, he's more than that. LeBron James has said to be more than that. LeBron James said himself he's more than that. Actually, can you play what LeBron James said, if you don't mind?
Mm-hmm.
Today, you know, I would never shut up about things that's wrong. I preach about my people, and I preach about you know, equality, social injustice, racism, you know, systematic voting, voter suppression, things that go on in our community. Because I was a part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on, and I know that, you know, what's going on still because I have a group of 300 plus kids at my school that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. I'm their voice, and I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community but around the, you know, this country and around the world. So, you know, if there's no reason, well, no, I won't say no reason, but there's no way I will ever just stick to sports because I understand how, you know, how this platform and how powerful my voice is. At the end of the day, you know. And he can just ask Renee Montgomery, you know, if I would have shut up and just dribbled. Seeing that beautiful black woman today, you know, be a part of a group where she's part of an ownership group now with the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta. And it's funny he say that because I believe in like 2018, he was the same guy who said when he was back in Sweden, talking about the same things because his last name wasn't a certain last name that he felt like it was some racism going on when he was out in the pitch. Right? He did say that, right? Yeah. I thought he said that. So I speak from a very educated mind. So I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at because I do my homework.
So, there's a couple of sayings here that I want to bring to light. The first one I'm probably going to fuck up, but I think KJ knows this one to help me out. Actually, you know what? I think I have it right. If you're gonna take shots at the king, you bet not miss. First of all, And second of all, Zlatan, you may be good. And KJ, you're actually gonna like this. This is gonna make you smile. But his arms are too sharp to box with gods like LeBron James. I'm sorry. How dare you go after the great LeBron James like this?
Whoa! Oh mercy, oh mercy, oh mercy, oh mercy, oh mercy. Talent, respected greatness.
So, because we already know the kind of mind that LeBron James has. So when Zlatan even said, so initially I'm over here like, because here we go. A little bit more what Zlatan said, right? I don't like when people have some kind of status, they go in to do politics at the same time. Do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football because I'm the best at playing football. I don't do politics. If I would be a political politician, I would do politics. This is the first mistake people do when they become famous and become in a certain status. Stay out of it. Just do what you're best at because it doesn't look good. So basically, he projected all of his fears onto LeBron James because he would be too much of a coward to talk any more shit. Because it sounds like he once stood up for some shit in his country. And they shot him the fuck down and turned him into this fucking coward that he is now. Because thank God LeBron has that kind of memory to recall that he had spoken up for similar problems in Sweden. But now, when LeBron James has to talk about it in America, it's shut the fuck up. So either he doesn't believe in black equality, or they checked that motherfucker and castrated him.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, Zlatan,
you went out like a sucker.
You're a fucking hypocrite. You played yourself. I should add you to my fucking... Like, you understand? He's this close to be added to my piece of poop list.
He's a piece of poop. I think you should just go ahead and do it just for the drop.
I didn't have it loaded up. I really didn't. So, alright, so Zlatan, not a good look. No, I don't think that's what you want. Like, not a good look. And LeBron James with the witty comeback. Like,
the witty comeback? Nigga, that was a bus driver.
That's a mic,
uppercut.
That's a mic drop. Like, God. So, man, oh man. Thank you for that one. Both of you guys. Zlatan and LeBron. So, as we're talking about L's.
Hey, ladies.
Where the ladies at?
That's all you get today.
Ladies. Can I start off by saying I absolutely love you in everything that you do. And I big you up in all of your spaces in any way that you can go ahead and get money and thrive.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
But fans of the MyT Sports Podcast, I have to advise you.
No!
There's a podcast that I have told you guys that, hey, I'm gonna go check out. And I wanted to check out for I wanted to check out for a different reason, right? So let me also preface this.
Because it's technically a different show.
I wanted to check it out because I'm interested in women's sports, and I wanted to get more in touch with women's sports and find more podcasts and more fresh ways to intake and consume women's sports, right? So I was excited to hear that that Brandon Marshall was starting a spin-off to his I Am Athlete podcast, which is going to be called the I Am Women podcast. And I heard about it coming out, and I was very excited to go out and go listen. I'm like, oh shit, this is nice. We're going to get a bunch of this is what my expectations were. So granted, part of my being upset is because it didn't live up to my expectations. Will it live up to yours? Something completely different. But it's not living up to my expectations. That's because I assumed that it was going to be a bunch of former women athletes or current women athletes right? Even I didn't even mind because I think one of them is a female commentator from WWE as well. She works both spaces. Charlie Caruso or Charlie, whatever her name is, like nice lips, right? But that's besides the point. Right? Oh shit. Speaking of lips, I had to show Munchkin the other day that her lip gloss idol originally didn't have lips. She's now a Fenty person. Not the baby. Yo, that was some of the most awesome shit that happened to me. So, what I ended up getting from the Iron Women's podcast wasn't a bunch of former athletes. It was a bunch of athletes, wives, and girlfriends. So basically what I end up getting, when I thought I was going to hear a bunch of athletes talk and give insight on their sport and help big up their sport, I got the Real Basketball Wives podcast. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very good podcast. So let me also make sure I tell you that. It is a very good podcast, right? There's some insightful shit because they do go through. So let me ask you, because I have been listening. They do go through all the troubles and the turmoil and turmoil that they go through in the industry in their space trying to come up. Getting the shit treatment from organizations because you're not a wife and you're just a girlfriend. Which I don't understand why they were shocked, because two of them are military, and that's exactly how the military treats girlfriends, boyfriends versus spouses. Period. So I was a little shocked that they were shocked at how that treatment occurred when this was treatment that they knew about from being in a military environment, right? Because like, why are we affording you allotments, right? Team allotments or team perks, right? Because the military is allotments. Team perks, if you're the third person he's brought through here in fucking 6 months. Like, nah, B. Like, until he proposes, at least, nah. So but one of them did like kind of understand, but they go through like the hate that they get from other women. They went through like they go through different, like, that's the different things, like their own job. Like Amara Stoudemire's wife came on, so she talked about their trip to Israel and constantly being on the move and the different things that they've done. Like, so it's very insightful, very, very good and insightful. It just wasn't what I expected. I expected women athletes talking about their sport. Basically, I'm hearing the spouses of athletes talk about their troubles coming up in their own space while being an athlete's spouse. Now, granted, I mean, make sure I let you guys know I am not disappointed, or my vitriol or whatever annoyance that you hear on my voice isn't because that these are women girlfriend, or these are girlfriends or women spouses. I don't give a fuck about none of their spouses. Like, I don't give a fuck about Oprah's husband. I don't give a fuck about Denzel Washington's wife. I don't give a fuck about Dave Chappelle's wife. I don't give a fuck about Nate Robinson's wife. I kind of give a fuck about Iman Shumpert's wife.
But you don't give a fuck about Tiana Taylor's husband?
Who?
Iman Shumpert's wife's name is Tiana Taylor.
Oh.
So that you don't give a shit about Tiana Taylor's husband?
Like, so, like, I don't care about spouses of the entertainer that I am looking to be entertained by so much. Like, none of, like, I get it. Like, you're trying to make your own space, and all of them admit that having, like, granted, like, a lot of them have their own money, but but having their name affiliated to their spouse help open a lot of doors for them. Which, not to take anything away from you, it should, and you should utilize that. If you're not, you're a fucking fool. Don't, and not for nothing, society shouldn't make you feel bad about it either. Because that's what all of the people that are the 1%ers of the world and want to hold on to their money and family legacy and generational wealth does.
know somebody who knows somebody.
So,
On top of already having the credentials.
listen, this is the biggest problem we're having in the NFL is that they'll rather hire people that they know than people that are qualified.
Exactly.
They skip over the people that are qualified. And granted, right, we take a lot of, like, we give them a lot of slack for not hiring people of color that are qualified. But they pass over a lot of people that are qualified to hire their boys.
The good old boys club. The Cowboys situation is the worst one of them all.
So
One of the worst. What's that? One of them.
No problem. It's okay. So ladies, I was disappointed in the I am women's podcast because I thought it was gonna be former athletes. It's not former athletes, it's athlete spouse. I don't care if it's women's spouses, I don't care if it's men's spouses, it's athlete spouses, and it doesn't intrigue me for that particular reason. But I'll continue to listen because their stories are still something to listen to.
Especially the ones that were in the military.
And as you know, I personally, can relate to their military experience, or even when they talk about the stuff that they went through. I've witnessed it. I've seen it happen to them. So I will still end up listening to it, but it's not the podcast that I was looking for to be able to get knowledge on women athletes. It is the women experience in celebrity work environment. Or work environment, however you want to put it. But kind of celebrity work environment. Once again, like I said, I'm getting the Real Basketball Wives of Hollywood podcast. And I've never watched one Real Basketball Wife of anywhere.
None of it.
What's going on, the Old Man Podcast? What's going on, Card King? Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I was just talking about my disappointment in another podcast. But that should still be listened to. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So, we've gotten the women out of the way. And not for nothing, ladies, I'm gonna let you know this. This was really hard for me to do. Like, ask KJ. This was really hard for me to do. I almost did not talk bad about. I almost did not give my. I shouldn't talk bad. I almost didn't give my honest opinion about that podcast because I don't want to talk bad about what you guys do. It's a beautiful podcast and it should be listened to and anytime any space that you can make money and try to flourish it, I am all for it. I said already on the air already, right? I'm all for it. It just wasn't what I expected. So I really had a problem like putting my honest opinion out there because I didn't want it to make it seem like I was bashing this podcast or bashing women or anything like that because you guys know that's not what I do. But I had to, if I don't listen to it for a while or if it sounds like I haven't listened to it for a while, because I'm still going to listen to it, but it's no longer on the top of my list. It's being pushed all the way the fuck down because I'm not learning shit about current women's sports. And that's the purpose of me going to it. But if you guys just want to hear about just women that are in the business or married to or dating individuals in this business and hear about what their experiences going through trying to juggling being a single mother, having 3 kids in like 2.5 years, kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like because Mara Stoudemire's wife said they pushed 3, she pushed 3 kids out back to back to back. Like there was no rest. Like if Mara Stoudemire was like, I don't give a fuck if we're in Israel and you have to wear this cloth. I'm shooting up the club. Hallelujah. Oh shit. So listen, I've been listening. There's so many things I can tell you about it that I found interesting. I just didn't learn shit. And also, if you're a fan of Basketball Wives or the Bad Girls Club or any of those Love and Hip Hop podcasts or whatever, go listen to the I Am Women podcast. Go listen to it. Listen, if you're a fan of those kind of shows, go listen to that podcast as well because you are gonna hear shit from a lot of those people. Like I said, they just dropped the Mara Stoudemire's wife in this last season. Before that, they had other wives, you know what I mean? And then they dropped her in, and she started telling her story. Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like at first, I wasn't even sure if it was Mara Stoudemire's wife. They mentioned Stoudemire as the last name. I wasn't sure if it was his wife. Like, you know what I mean? But the moment she was like, yeah, we lived in Israel, I was like, yeah, that's the right Stoudemire. Like as soon as she said, yeah, we lived in Israel. I'm like, that's that admire style because he traced his Israeli roots recently. Or Hebrew roots? Israeli, Jewish roots? So that's one of the things of his roots, like he traced back, and then he went over there and lived for like a whole entire year with 3 kids and a wife. Completely up, like, yo. But she was like, yo, my family by then was used to like moving, like we were G's at that shit. You know what I mean? So moving to Israel was like nothing. Like, okay, clan, let's go ahead. We're going to Israel this time. It was nothing. So like I said, interesting shit. Just not mine.
Cup of tea.
Yes. But if that is your cup of tea, that is something you should definitely go ahead and sip on. Like it, cause they do drop that tea. Like they definitely do. Like it like they do drop that tea. It just isn't meant for
MyT.
So let's go ahead and something that's something that should have been meant for. Over the weekend, was this the fight? Was this the guy that guy was telling us about the other day? Was this? Well, no, it was MMA. It was MMA guy he was telling us about. He wasn't telling us.
He was talking MMA, not boxing.
Okay. So I was like, I hope this was not the guy that caller from the other day had us. He was talking about. And I thought I wrote that guy's name down. I really thought I did. I was like, this guy, like this fight wasn't even close. So, in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Canelo Alvarez had a fight over the weekend on the zone versus Saunders. Is that it?
I don't know. I didn't watch the fight. I'm like,
No, this is him. No, this is him. Hold on, no. B, I swear to God. I swear the Lord. Hold on. I swear, because this guy had like 3 names. This was on last show. Kid Movie, Led IQ, Burke, Freddie, some other shit. Where the fuck did I write this down at, B? This is really bugging me. This is really, really bugging me because I swear this is who the person that called in was talking about. This is who he raved about when he wasn't listening to us, right, and came back to talk some shit. I swear to God, this is who he was talking about. Because whoever the fuck he talked about had 3 fucking names he kept on talking about. Right? Because he said, these guys are the Dorker, right? That's who he But no, he fought Billy Joe Saunders. That was sound right?
nah, that's not you fought.
That's not who he fought?
You fought this dude.
Oh, no. That's who he says he's going to fight next.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is talking about. Okay, that is okay. So that's who he says he's gonna fight next. That's who he's gonna fight next. Is Billy Joe Saunders. That's who he told us to look out for. Okay, the guy he fights next is who he told us to look out for. So what were you saying?
Yeah, the dude he fought is some guy with weird ass name. Avni.
With the Y?
AVNI Y last name. Yildirim.
The name I kept on looking over like that's not who he fought. Oh
like,
shit.
What?
Yo, that's actually funny. Cause like I saw the name and I was like, that's not who we fought. Yildirim. That's what I'm gonna call him. Right? So just know that this dude, like, he didn't even make a name for himself. This fight was so one-sided. Like this fight was so one-sided. Like it looked like he hurt him in the first, and then after the second round he stopped throwing punches. Go watch it. Like, this one of those fights you can watch real quick. This fight was over in the 5th round, and it didn't look like Yildirim, right? Right? Threw any punches out after the second round. It got to the point where initially I thought that his corner stopped the fight, cause at the end of the 5th. His cut man or his corner man kept on telling him like, yo, if you don't show me something in the next round, I'm gonna stop this. It's a championship fight. If you don't show me anything in the next round, I'm gonna stop this. He kept on saying, hey, you fucking listening to me? You don't show me something. He didn't even show. He didn't respond to him like, yo, you don't fucking fight this. I can fight. He just looked at this dude and was like, So when the fight was stopped, I thought his corner stopped it. So I don't know if the ref may have saw that body language and he was like, nah, fuck this. I ain't gonna waste another 3 minutes of my life. No problem, but thank you for listening to the podcast. I appreciate you, man. Like, you guys make sure you go check out the Old Man's Podcast with Dean, Joe, and Eric. Like, they are a hilarious podcast. I always have to remind myself, were you, before you go, that he must have left already, but were you the guys that married a chicken on the ear?
Yeah.
If you're still on the ear, if you're still with me and you heard that, yo, this is why I loved them from the beginning. This was like one of the first things I heard about them on Pop. But like, they were married a chicken on the ear. Can I tell you, like, they were the first people to make appointment podcasts for me. I was like, yo, what? They were like, next week. We're gonna like, what? I was like, I set my time. It was like 11:30. Like, I was like, this is during the pandemic. I was like, I gotta hear how the fuck they were marrying a chicken on the ear. They must have left already because he would have responded already if that was it. Remind me the next time we see the Old Man's Podcast, remind me to ask them as soon as we see them, were they the ones that married a chicken on the ear? If you guys want to hear shit like this, because I even tell them to call it, like, god damn, it was amazing. Oh, was that the Brian show? I thought that wasn't with Brian. What? Wait, no, it wasn't us. See? Okay. He's still listening. Yo, that wasn't a...
Oh my god.
Yo, who the fuck was that? They married a chicken on the ear. Was it Brian? I'm gonna have to do some research. Let's go to Jazzy Pants music, okay? But thank you again later. Thank you again for listening. Later, you have a wonderful day, man. Stay blessed. Oh shit. So where the fuck were we? Canelo Alvarez knocking out Yildirim. Right, yeah, so I think I already said it. Yeah, I thought his corner man stopped the fight, but no, it wasn't his corner. It was the ref. And I think the ref must have just been looking, because I'm over here looking at his body language like, you gonna respond to your corner man? Like, he's like, yo, if you don't fuck, like, give him something. Don't just look at him like, I didn't understand what anything that you're saying. Like he giving the blank face, like, bitch, stop it now, I dare you. Like, and the ref, like I said, the referee must have really been the one looking at him like, I'm not taking this shit, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna waste another 3 minutes. Like, this could be over now. He ain't even rebuttal. He ain't even like give him he ain't squint or nothing. Like, fuck. Like, he didn't even do that. Like, the fuck. You know who else was the Brooklyn Nets? Woo! As they took on, who did they take on again? Shit. God
Mavericks.
There we go. They took on the Dallas Mavericks. I didn't have a pull up yet, and I know I remembered it, but I forgot it. They took on the
Players fuck up too.
That's the other drop I needed. Players fuck up. Dallas Mavericks waxed that ass. Thorough spanking, and not for nothing.
This first quarter all the way through.
Let's go ahead and also bring a little bit more light into this. The Brooklyn Nets were on an 8-game winning streak, right? Now they came into this game against Dallas, a team that had been struggling but was kind of finding their way now, and it kind of felt like they started to piece the things together to be able to start getting to themselves on a better part of 500, kind of like how the New York Knicks are. Ironically, who would have thought that a team of Luka Doncic and Porzingis would have a worse record even as we speak right now than the New York Knicks? But it is so.
You play to win the game
all day long, and the Dallas Mavericks have been playing really well lately. And listen, nobody has been playing better than who people are thinking fought with the Brooklyn Nets. Like, they've been raving and talking about the Brooklyn Nets to the point where it's like, hey, can this team be stopped? And the one thing that can stop a team like this, stop them. And that was injuries. And we already know that Kevin Durant has been out for some time with injuries. But now they lost Kyrie Irving. And against a team like the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, it was just a little bit too much for them to handle. as they would take an L, 115-98. Luka Doncic would have a smooth 27 points on 11 for 21 shooting. He'll go 3 for 10. He'll go 3 for 10 from the 3-point range. That goes to show you that 7 of his misses, 7 out of his 10 misses. Remember, he went 11 for 21. 7 out of those 10 misses were 3-pointers. So everywhere else, he was basically money. Money. That's basically what he's saying. Like, he was 8 for 11. Everywhere else, couldn't touch him. Free throws, he could have been better. 2 for 6. He would end up with 27 points. Kristaps Porzingis would add on 18 points on 7 for 13 shooting. These are one of those games that Kristaps Porzingis played well, to be honest with you. And it's funny that Kristaps Porzingis is like, I always have to kind of highlight Kristaps Porzingis because I think Knicks fans feel the need to keep Kristaps Porzingis highlighted because he was part of that trade, right? And the Knicks fans are kind of like bludgeons for punishment, and they always want to compare like what they did to what they had and what they've had to what they did, and compare like, oh, who came out the other side of this and that. But I'm gonna tell Knicks fans right now, to be honest with you, take it as a W that you came out like. You came on the on the right side of the Porzingis trade, so it doesn't matter if Porzingis has a good game anymore. You came on the right side of it. It doesn't matter when he has a bad game anymore. You came on the right side of it. Like, Porzingis' production no longer matters. Listen, until Kristaps Porzingis shows that he can play all available games in the NBA and be a bona fide all-star that year, you are winning. I don't care how many times Dennis Smith Jr. blocks Derrick Rose's shot as he tries to drive the lane when he played Detroit. You are winning. Dennis Smith Jr. had a vendetta out. He was like, this is how you gonna replace me for? I can be just as athletic at him. But he is old with bad knees, Dennis Smith Jr. And he still was getting the better of you at times. The Brooklyn...
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah. One annoying thing that I saw this weekend, right? Even though Brooklyn did lose, you might catch a laugh with this. One of my boys had the nerve to tweet. Let me find it. Give me a second here. Hold up.
The Brooklyn Nets outscored them in one quarter. Even though they didn't lead it. But outscored them in one quarter. That was the second quarter.
Yep.
38-30. Listen, like, James Harden even gave his props to Luka. He was like, listen, he doesn't let anybody speed him up. Look, you're ready. You got it.
I was like, I saw this tweet. And it said, the Miami Heat are the only team that can take Brooklyn out in the playoffs. They're low-key the actual best team in the East. I said, this is the bullshit that I'm talking about here. You know how I responded? You know that meme from The Office of the black guy just chilling? I'm like, yo.
You know what, though? But that's what happens when you're a fan. Because you know what? Let me say what I just said to any Heat fan, and they probably gonna give me that same look. That I believe that the New York Knicks can beat the Miami Heat in a 7-game series. So, I'm not saying the New York Knicks are the low-key best team in the East.
That's the thing. That was the part that got me. Like,
best team in the what? But that's what your fandom does here. And if you're a Miami Heat fan, you should still believe that.
Mark, you see?
Oh, I didn't even see Mark.
You see, Mark? You did crazy shit, Mark. Hey, Mark, I'm with you right now, though.
See, exactly.
That was a bullshit.
And that's how the shooting spot. Like, no, that's some crazy shit.
That's bullshit. I said, wait, what?
Listen, unless they go.
I was like, bro, delete this immediately. The best in the what? And then of course he took, because once I added him, he took me to the private message. Let me pull that shit up. Oh man. I was like, hell no. Like, really going in, making it. He was like, the Nets have no depth, and the Heat have the proper defenders and shooters to extend the Nets. I'm like, oh my goodness. He was like, just watch. Bear gave a healthy Nets 40 he'd have too many variables. And I was like, you know, you might have a point. But I'm like, I can't see that team beating KD, Harden, Kyrie 4 out of 7 times. 3 Hall of Famers. It was like, your point is valid. 3 Hall of Famers, yes. But all 3 Hall of Famers are scorers who need the ball in their hands. And then he was like, Jimmy, especially playoff Jimmy, will score with KD. We saw what he did arguably against the greatest player of all time in the finals with toe-to-toe with Braun. It's all shit he's saying. He was like, then you have Bam, who is an elite defensive player who can switch 1 through 5 and contain at least and give you 20 and 10. And of course, Miami's secret weapon is literally a dude who's 1 or 2 dribble pull-up away from being the next Klay Thompson and Duncan Robinson.
Stop. You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Yes, sir.
You know what that does to you, huh? It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells. Now, I say if you want to kill yourself, go on and do it expeditiously. Now, go on and jump.
It was like, B! And then he said, add better coaching, a solid Tyler Hero, and Goran Dragic, Iguodala's defense.
See, look, even now Mark's laughing at my Knicks over the Heat comment. I put it on the board, Mark. I put it on the board. As it currently stands, the Knicks will play the Heat in the first round, and I'm saying it right now, the Knicks can beat the Heat. But like I said, exactly how the Brooklyn Net, exactly how that Heat fan sounds to that Brooklyn Net fan, is exactly how I as a Knicks fan sound to that Heat fan. They're like, you smoke crack, don't you? Oh, shit. But with this loss for the Brooklyn Nets, that would bring them to 6th in the league.
Everybody got to get a good laugh in on a Monday. Got to get a good laugh.
2nd in the conference. And 2nd in the division. The Brooklyn Nets, for the next couple of games, they will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs next. And that's going to be, actually, that's later on tonight. Now, the San Antonio Spurs are going to get a little dose of New York flavor, which is actually going to help may benefit
the brand new flavor in your ear,
which actually may benefit the New York Knicks because tonight they get the Brooklyn Nets, right? And this is all in San Antonio. But then tomorrow night, so the San Antonio Spurs are going to get a back-to-back. They get the New York Knicks. So the New York Knicks may actually be able to steal a game from the San Antonio Spurs, which I even thought they were beatable before that. But now they even a higher chance of possibly beating the San Antonio Spurs. And this, as the first time that the New York Knicks have, and I just say the first time they broke 500, but you guys know what I meant. Know what I mean when I say this here. We've already explained this in the past shows. But so now that the New York Knicks have broken 500, let's see if they can actually get something else that's been eluding them. And that is winning more than 3 games in a row by beating the San Antonio Spurs on Tuesday. After the San Antonio Spurs just finished playing Brooklyn. And then after that, we go back and we see Detroit, a team we just waxed by 19. And then the road swing, that's going to test us for a little bit. Milwaukee, Oklahoma, Brooklyn, and Philly. We beat Milwaukee once. Brooklyn, by the time we play them, Kevin Durant should be back, and Kyrie Irving, who knows, he'll be off of his sabbatical. Now, you know, every once in a while he takes a nature hike.
Leave him alone.
And then we'll see how we match up against Philly.
Leave him alone.
Sorry, though. I understand.
Let him live.
I understand.
They just won 8, 9 in a row. Leave him alone.
I understand. His shoulder hurts from carrying the team. I get it. Like that's how he feels. He's like, KD is out. Why can't I be out too? This isn't fair. You know, everybody just wants to tear us down. Like, and I have a torn shoulder, so I have to build it back up. That's Kyrie. So I'm gonna end the podcast on this note, right? And it's only just a quick honorable mention. This weekend, we have a UFC fight. I'm excited about this UFC fight because we get to see my boy Adesanya, the last style bender, fight, and he's moving up in weight classes to see if he can start dominating that division because he's been taking care of his other shit. So that's gonna be a fight to tune into. You guys make sure you're going to watch the fight. Obviously, we'll talk more about that fight. You know what? I'll see if my fantasy football, the winner of my fantasy football league, he's a big MMA fan. I'll see if he wants to put something together and come talk MMA on the podcast with us on Wednesday. See how he feels about that, and also brag a little bit about winning and how does it feel to be a champ.
That'll be his only one. Next year, that shit's over.
That's just coming home to me. Like, fuck all the dumb shit. Like, wait, you about to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll hit you with the.
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest.
Thank you for listening, Mark.
All the bandwidth in the
Thank
world
you,
couldn't
Old Man
keep me
Podcast.
contained. No lag, no lag.
Thank you, Car King. Thank you, Pillow Talk.
Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there. Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought. Last of the real gabbers.
Thank you for interacting
Well,
with the podcast.
Maybe not the last.
Oh, let's get this outro
Munchkin
video rolling.
got good mic skills. New, improved MyT Podcaster. Potting down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closing. Sun's out. Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't wanna go far. Wild night. Tired, B.
For real.
Tired. MyT
Sports. Okay, then next. I gotta cut something I'm missing. Oh, YouTube.